watchers, and welcome to our season finale of Beyond the Credit. We have a very special show for you guys today, but to my right, we have our very special guest, Carlton Carler. And what are you wearing?
I am wearing a Chewbacca hat. I skinned a Chewbacca live.
Earlier today?
Yeah, right before breakfast.
Right before, yeah, I figured.
Went to Denny's. Not settling well.
They serve Wookiees at Denny's.
Yep.
All right, and to my left, we have Mr. Chris Nielsen. And
yes.
What is your attire today?
I found a sombrero and I put it on. That's the whole story, honestly.
That's fantastic.
That's all there is.
I'm glad you guys are showing off.
Yeah, we're having fun today, I guess.
Yeah,
we're having fun.
It's the last show, why not?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some news, shall we? All right, first off, James Cameron decided to, he made a little movie called Avatar.
Yeah, small release.
Small release, right. And so he decided to not only come out with a sequel, but 4 sequels to that movie.
For some reason.
For some reason.
Yes. For some reason. Wait.
Yes, obviously for money, because I don't know. Avatar did really well financially. It's
it's the highest
grossing movie. You know, Force Awakens couldn't beat it because for some reason it didn't do well enough in China and Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like the still highest grossing movie, and they're hoping that same kind of movie, I don't know, viewer turnout is going to be the same for not 1 more sequel, not 2 more sequels, not 3 more sequels, but 4 sequels.
4 sequels.
I mean, I'm really nervous about it.
Yeah.
I am. But because it is James Cameron, I feel just a little bit better about it because James Cameron is a genius. And you agree. So, I mean, what do you think, Chris? How do you feel? Because it's 4, but it's James Cameron behind
But he doesn't always, nail it. He did great. Doesn't. I mean, Aliens is awesome. I think that's my favorite thing he's done. But I don't know. It seems like it's cool that they're going to delve into different, areas of the planet Pandora. James Cameron in real life is pretty, big in underwater exploration and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did a whole trek, a manned trek to inside the Mariana Trench, and he wants to do something like that in the Avatar sequels, and maybe it will be cool that it's most of it is actually filmed underwater, and maybe that's something that will bring people into theaters, because what brought people into theaters for Avatar was the new integration of 3D. So are they going to need a gimmick to bring people back in? I don't know.
I can understand a sequel. I mean, I personally don't think it just needs a sequel, that it ended fine in its own, have its own self-contained movie.
Yeah.
But you have 4 sequels. I mean...
But with that, he has a plan. You know that James Cameron has... They would not greenlit 4 sequels if they didn't have an idea behind it. And I want to give James Cameron trust, but I don't want an Avatar movie.
Yeah, neither do I. It's so interesting how it did so well, and it doesn't have a fan base. You don't go up to someone every few people. It's you're a Star Wars fan, almost everyone is. Like Lord of the Rings. Oh yeah, okay. Avatar. No, there's no Avatar it's fan
weird.
group, and it's weird that they're planning so many when there's not that fan base there that there is for other things like Star Wars and Marvel and in Indiana Jones and stuff like that. It's just interesting.
Unfortunately, there's only the Disney's putting out the theme park rights to Avatar, and I feel like that's something to do with it. So I mean, expect the next sequel to be on 2018, and then 2020, and then 2022, and then 2023. So we're gonna be having a lot. Yeah, exactly. Let's move on from that. Robert Downey Jr. has released, or I think he said it, that he is going to be in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man Homecoming. This is going to be the first character that we know that's going to be crossing over from Marvel to Sony.
Yeah.
So that's quite. I'm not surprised by it, but what do you guys feel?
Get a high five right now, Chris.
Sure, but he's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is for, but sure, why not?
I mean, I just like it. They're really dedicating moving forward to keeping the universes interconnected.
Yeah, that's good and all, but something to announce a major character to still be alive after Civil War.
Are you implying this undermined the stakes of the movie?
I think it did. I actually had the hunch that maybe they'd do kind of a reversal of the common story and maybe make Tony die. I mean, hoping. Spoiler alert. I mean, it's not gonna happen. It's not.
I mean, he's in the movie.
But it still could happen. They might be doing this maybe to throw us off the scent that he isn't going to die in Civil War. And that he is Civil War, but no, that he isn't going to die in Civil War, and that he's actually he might show up in a flashback sequence of some sort in Spider-Man: Homecoming, because we do see that Spider-Man is on Tony's side from the Civil War trailers.
He
already has
specific trailer.
Yeah, he already has a cute nickname for him.
Yeah,
and everything, called him
Underoos.
Underoos. So it might be important for us to see that kind of mentorship. Be played or what?
Hey,
What's
Chris.
up? What's up?
I hope you're right.
I know, but that he dies.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You don't think the studio can do
I
that?
like him,
Right,
but
right.
it would just add a lot of. It would be
It
interesting,
would,
right?
because a problem that Marvel movies have is that they don't have that many stakes. Everyone walks away
True.
clean. Last movie, Quicksilver died, but Quicksilver was just introduced.
But are the stakes too high if they get rid of their biggest moneymaker?
Well, apparently not, because they're putting him in the next movie. So I don't know. We'll see. But are we happy with that decision to have him in there?
Mixed feelings.
Mixed. Okay.
I was positive. Chris convinced me. I'm mixed now.
All right, let's move on from there. Walt Disney Pictures are coming up with their animated, not animated. They're known for the animated movies, but now their new thing is putting everything live action, kind of
But
rehashing.
making sure it used to be animated.
Yeah,
first.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It needs to have that title first. So just yesterday, they announced there's a whole bunch of movies that they're coming out with, and just to name a few, they have Cruella.
Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, starring Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Emma Stone's
Emma
Cruella
Stone,
DeVille?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it
Yeah.
like when I was like, we're doing a Cruella DeVille movie, and then it's like Emma Stone's gonna be. It's like, okay, that might be like there might be
Okay.
some humor into it
Yeah.
as well. Like it might be worth a standalone movie.
Right.
Like when I first heard Maleficent was coming out, it was like, Angelina Jolie looks like she'd be a good one, but I'm not really sure it could stand alone. Like, but I'm actually kind of oddly interested in a Cruella standalone.
Yeah, I am too. And I mean, they've done well. I mean, I didn't see Cinderella, but Maleficent was
Yeah.
good. I saw Jungle Book last week. The Jungle Book was a great movie. Go out and see it.
I still haven't seen it. I want
Yeah.
to.
I haven't seen
You
it
have
either,
to see it.
So it's definitely so the live action's working though. For now.
Only from the movies I've seen.
Okay,
They're
alright.
working.
So for more there, we have the Jungle Cruise starring Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
The
Okay, I
Rock's
didn't know
in?
that.
The Rock's in it, yeah.
Go ahead, take my
It's a
money,
very witty.
movie.
We have Dumbo. From director Tim Burton is directing the new live-action Dumbo movie, which is really weird.
Live-action Dumbo.
Live-action Dumbo movie, which is quite weird.
It might be possible that they're using the same kind of technology they used for Jungle Book.
Or
Yeah.
or that or Alice in Wonderland. I mean, he's also. I mean, I think he had a hand in.
he did Alice in
Wonderland.
Wonderland,
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
He's also doing they're also doing a Mary Poppins sequel,
A Mary Poppins sequel.
which is interesting, and that's from the director of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Rob Marshall.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
I think
I
he.
thought
No,
Gore
he,
Verbinski was.
no, he did. I think he did on Stranger Tides.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Rob Marshall did that one, and then they're also.
I don't
doing,
think that's necessary for the sequel. So.
yeah.
Let's
Well,
see.
why
They
is
had the movie Native McPhee a while back. That wasn't Disney, but I assume that was the sequel to it. It was really good.
We also have The Maleficent 2 and Jungle Book 2.
Mm-hmm.
Angelique Jolie is returning her role as Maleficent, and
Okay.
director Jon Favreau is returning for the sequel for The Jungle Book. So
Do we know the date of the Jungle Book too? Because that kid's gonna be growing up.
they gotta be doing that real quick, right?
guess.
And then there's also working on a Tinkerbell project. So I'm assuming a live-action Tinkerbell movie, which is starring Reese Witherspoon.
That movie's gonna make bank.
Really?
I'm not necessarily excited for it, but I guarantee.
Wait, why are you
it.
so sure about this one?
None of them, just
that's
like this
true,
one.
you're
Yeah.
No, I'm curious. I don't know. Like this one, I was just like, all right.
You want to talk
but-
about a brand? Tinkerbell. I see Tinkerbell everywhere.
Okay.
Tinkerbell has transcended. I think Tinkerbell can arguably is more popular than the movie she's in called Pinocchio.
Peter Pan. I guess that just shows.
Well,
she is more popular than the movie itself.
it says a Tinkerbell project, but I also heard a rumor that they might be doing a live-action Peter Pan movie made by Disney. So I'm like, are we having two? A Peter Pan and
is she gonna be in
and
that
she
one?
could be in that
That
one?
cinematic
Yeah,
universe.
I know,
Oh,
right?
man.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna be. I don't know. That's
weird. All right.
I'm not that big a fan of Reese Witherspoon either, so I'm.
We'll see
Yeah, it
with
might
that.
make bank, but I might not be part of that.
And then last but not least, just to briefly mention that AMC theaters announced that
yeah.
they were doing a texting's allowed in the theaters.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden they said, like less than 24 hours later, they said, nah, never mind.
That was a stupid
That was
idea.
stupid. idea.
because of the
Because of
feedback, the
yeah.
backlash, and for good reason.
Yeah,
too.
people are like because we're trying to like get to millennials because they want because texting's cool. Let's just put it in the theaters because that's what everybody wants when they're watching a movie. It's having a
No.
yeah.
Not at all. Chris, you told me a story. What did he say when he backtracked? What was it?
What backtrack?
When the guy
what-
backtracked.
Yeah, what was the
yeah,
statement?
the statement he said was that
Oh,
you can't
yeah.
tell a 22-year-old to shut off their phones. It's like telling them to cut off their left arm at the elbow. So he was totally he's defeated. He's just like, let's just roll with it. Let's just run with it. So it was. I'm glad they overturned it because that's just too many glowing screens. That's too. I hate distractions in the movie theater.
I don't know why that was even a thought
Yeah.
to begin with. I mean, granted, people are gonna open their phones anyway, but I think we live right now that people can just go outside if they need to use it.
Yeah.
At this point, I think that's self-explanatory. I don't think we need to.
You can.
Yeah,
Exactly. Left arm. No, yeah. You can be distracted. You can distract yourself. Don't distract everybody else.
Yeah.
Or don't make like a point in the back of the to put like don't put yourself in the back there just to have a section because that's losing space that other people might.
They
want.
actually have talked about
yeah.
adding a section for it. But
It's interesting.
Now I'm a bad person section.
All right, so
bad person section.
When we come back, we are gonna have a very special interview with movie composer Patrick Doyle. So we had an opportunity to do this, so that'll be great. So when we come back, see you guys after the break.
Hey everyone, I'm here at Playlist Live Orlando 2016.
Playlist Live is like a party on steroids, in my opinion. Awesome. Just you meet celebrities, YouTubers, just all around. It's one of the most. It's like I say, it's bigger than WrestleMania.
Missed Playlist Live Orlando? Check out Playlist Live Washington, D.C., September 2nd through the 4th.
So first of all, we'd like to thank you for sitting down with us, for having us for this interview.
It's my pleasure.
And so we just want to get started with, tell us a little bit about your background, how you became involved in the music industry.
Well, I've always loved music since I was a little boy, really, and I've always had a desire to play. I ended up playing piano, but not until I was 12. I used to play tunes in a little glockenspiel when I was young, and from a great family of singers, terrific singers. It's quite extraordinary. You know, nieces and nephews and uncles and aunts, everyone are great singers. I've sung myself, sung professionally a lot. My two daughters are great singers, and they don't sing professionally. So it's because they're constantly put on concerts every year. There's just, you know, we have an annual family get together. It's massive. So music, performing, that whole sort of thing, showing off, as you call it in Scotland, is really sort of second nature to myself and the family. It's just what I was raised in, as you say in Scotland. It was part of my upbringing. So I ended up studying at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama, and there I managed to, for the first time, see live actors. And I've always been fascinated with music and drama and music and animation since as long as I can remember. I bought the Disney book when I was 21. It's a massive Disney book. It told you how Pinocchio was made and all the different sort of depth cells they used, a brand new innovation at that time, and so I was always obsessed with the graphics. And my friends went to art school in Glasgow. It was a great art school there, built by Charles Rennie Mackintosh, a great architect, Scottish architect, part of the Art Nouveau movement. The Glasgow City Theatre was a great theatre, innovative plays with 3 great people who ran it. So this is my life, all leading towards what I'm doing now. And I spent then I was a music teacher for a year. Then I was asked to join a theatre company as a musical director. Many years I spent in theatre, plus a little acting as well. Yeah, I was in a very successful play when I was in my mid-20s, a huge success. There's a play that's been revived continually in Scotland called The Slab Boys. In fact, the second production of The Slab Boys was performed by Sean Penn and Val Kilmer.
Oh, really?
I can't remember the third guy, but both those were the second production of The Slab Boys, SLAB, The Slab Boys. You should look it up. And it was revived recently in Glasgow. It's been translated into 25 different languages. It was a huge sort of watershed in the history of Scottish theatre, because up till then it was dominated by English writers, Scottish theatre. But we're part of that sort of imperialism, cultural imperialism that takes place. Well, it certainly is less so now, but it was very, very, very evident way back in the 70s. Not, it may seem a long time to you, but it was around the corner for me. So it was great to be part of this phenomenal success. I think I really, I had to look at this character. I used to play in restaurants in town in Glasgow, and the writer I got to know very well, very successful writer, wonderful painter. And I auditioned for this role. So I worked in education, in theatre, music education with drama and music and education in schools in my local area. In fact, I've just come back full circle. I'm going back there, and they performed last year a live cinema silent movie score, which I was commissioned by the Syracuse International Film Festival. It was performed in Hamilton, Scotland, in Lanarkshire, my home county, where I went to a course when I was young, and we got these 14-year-olds to 16-year-olds play live with click track. And it's the first high school group in the world who's ever performed a movie with a live with click track that I know of. And it was so successful that we've been chosen to play again at an international education conference in Glasgow. Educators are coming from all over the world, and Glasgow won the bid. Various countries have it every year, and we are the first night concert. They've rebooked us, and they've enlarged the orchestra to use more members of the junior orchestra of the Royal Conservatoire, where I went to, the Scottish one, and youngsters from North and South Lanarkshire, which is the shire just surrounds Glasgow, and that's where I come from. That's where I was educated. So it was giving something back to Scotland. Part of the whole, I'm a great believer in Scottish independence as well, so that's part of this sort of new sort of renaissance and revival that's going on in Scotland, just to say, our voice has been re-heard in a different way. So, and it's been hugely successful. The kids had a ball, I had a ball. It was phenomenal. And I've just, in fact, re-orchestrated the entire piece, because I felt that I should make it, for many reasons I re-orchestrated the entire piece. And now, it's the final touches have been done here while I'm in Orlando, in the middle of all this, because they need the new score in the next week. So really, that's my back, and I got into film because after 50 years of theatre, I met Kenneth Branagh, who directed Thor. He was directed Jack Ryan. He played a leading character in Jack Ryan. And of course, Ken is one of the reasons we're here, because from his adaptations of Shakespeare, I've had the great opportunity to write the music for 5 of his feature film adaptations. So he really was the person who gave me my first break into movies.
It almost seems like in certain ways that like the composer is almost like the first audience member of the work, because you get to.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He or she absolutely is that, and you're the first reaction. Sometimes, many times, a composer is asked to come in once the film is almost completed, locked, as it were. Although the concept of a locked picture is becoming extinct, really. A film is really never locked. You're always changing. It's because of Avid and computers, things can be changed. Sometimes there are too many alternatives, and people have too many choices sometimes. But anyway, yes, you're very often the first person, fresh set of ears and eyes to see that picture.
Would you say that you would get like inspiration from seeing those like things for the first time, and that's how maybe something you want to be like in your musical score when you're writing it?
Yeah, it's very much a visceral thing. Yeah, your instant, usually one's instant impression, is your first instinct is usually correct.
And the strongest.
Sure, that applies right through life. You know, it's very often we know our first instinct. You say, "Ugh, I thought that, but I didn't actually." So I've learned to be wary of my first instinct. I'm usually right. When I see a score being pushed one way, I'll be off to see, but when I first saw it, I felt this. I always try and remember my first reaction to the picture, and where I saw maybe areas that seemed to sort of preamble too much, it seemed to amble along too slowly, there wasn't enough pace or whatever. And I thought, well, that area it's a bit, I lost my attention or whatever, so maybe the score has more work to do there. If that's how you feel, maybe that's where the music can make its effect. Whatever, there's all sorts of. I think if you, as I did in Harry Potter, I spent a year really working on seeing all the Durmstrang boys' outfits and what do you call the girls, the French girls?
The Beauxbatons.
Beauxbatons, yeah. Those girls, those outfits. But certainly the Durmstrang boys, as soon as I saw the drawing of them, I thought those guys should, because Mike Newell, the director, wanted to come in a particular way, and I said, well, they should come in with staffs, not with wands. It should be like
I know exactly what I think.
much more butch,
Yes.
rather than wands. It's like, wands are fine, but it's like, and I thought of the stage. That's why it's important to see everything. We took our kids to see Stomp, those guys had a sort of mock fight with brooms, a broomstick, broom handles, and I immediately thought of Stomp. And in fact, I was there with the second film unit directing them.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I want to talk about Harry
People
Potter.
realize composers get quite involved at times.
Yeah, because that movie in particular, it's impressive how many different sounds there are in that film.
Mm-hmm.
You created things from the mermaids.
My daughter sang that.
Oh really? Oh my God.
She's a mermaid, my daughter.
She really is a good singer.
Abigail, yeah. As I say, she's a wonderful singer, and she works with Simon Cowell and is not interested in singing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was she in the movie, or was she just the?
She does the voice of the snake.
Oh, wow.
She does the voice of what's his name? Voldemort, the snake. At the beginning, that's how. Yeah, Mike loved her. Oh yeah, you can do the voice. She tries her voice. Yeah, you're great for the snake voice, and she sang the Mermaid song, and brilliant. Yeah, she's a terrific singer, wonderful singer. She's a Mozart singer, but not interested, as is my other daughter. Not interested.
No.
They've sung lots of demos for me. She sang also in Little Princess.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter did a demo for Lily James for the production of Romeo and Juliet. She sings a song in Romeo and Juliet. And my daughter did a demo to demonstrate it. My other daughter, Nuala. So it's interesting, yeah. So yeah, that was a. So with Ken, like other directors know, they get to know that I work well in advance when I can, and of course they do enjoy that. They enjoy the fact that you're immersing yourself very early days. So with all of the Shakespeare films I've done, all of these Shakespeare films that have been featured, the scores, I've spent, if not as an actor in the films, certainly from the script stage, from the adaptation stage. And for example, Hamlet, I was in a touring production of that, and the score came out actually. Much Ado, same thing, As You Like It. I I played Amy who sings in As You Like It. I did a couple of acting scenes with Kevin Kline. And what else now? I can't think of the. I think that's the films that was there all the way through Henry V. I played Alexander Court in that, who has a line, and I sang the non-nobles as a young actor. So I spent 6 weeks in the filming process, plus over a year and a half working on the score. That was my first. I was a real rookie. Very frightening experience.
It's always meeting kind of the people that watch my videos. I mean, it's easy to see comments and subscribers, but when you can put actual faces to the names, that's really cool.
Do you have any beauty makeup advice for me? I don't wear makeup, so I don't really know how you can help me there. But
so I would say that you look pretty nice. Your hair is, I don't know what the kids are saying these days, on fleek.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. There's no rules in makeup.
Yeah.
Makeup and beauty is just an expression.
Yeah.
you hosted Spirit Splash.
Yes. Oh
at
my God.
UCF.
That's so much.
So I want to ask, what's crazier, Playlist Live or Spirit Splash? You got a whole bunch of people going rushing into a fountain. So how can you compare those two things?
Bro, that is the toughest question I've gotten all weekend long.
Really?
I'm gonna have to say,
I'm honored.
Wow. I'm gonna have to say Playlist only because of the fangirls.
Yeah.
Like there's no 10, 9, 8, 7, brrr, we go crazy and then we party for like an hour. These girls party for 4 days.
There's no countdown.
3 a.m., 4 a.m., they're literally looking up at the tower where all of us are staying, screaming at 3 and 4 a.m.
Now you guys, you're obviously lovers of music. Do you have somebody that you would want to, dead or alive, that you wish that you could perform with?
Probably Haley Williams,
I
right?
was gonna say Paramore.
You interact a lot with what, Uber, with Uber drivers and
Uber pranks.
yeah,
Tinder dates.
and Tinder dates. So could you give me any dating advice? Like what do I need to look out for, especially if the date's a bomb or something? What do I do?
Okay, I swear, making yourself vulnerable makes other people like you more and open up to you more. So, and that sounds like pretty manipulative now that I say it out loud.
I can be vulnerable and then take advantage.
Yeah.
Missed Playlist Live Orlando? Check out Playlist Live Washington, D.C., September 2nd through the 4th.
Hello, movie lovers. Welcome back again. First of all, I'd like to thank Patrick Doyle for allowing us to sit down and talk with him. It was a great experience. And also thank you, UCF Performing Arts. UCF Celebrates the Arts. Thank you for allowing us to do that as well. So thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
yes. To my right, Carlton's gone. Yeah. This is not Carlton.
Not the same guy anymore, if you couldn't tell.
No, Chris Mark City, thank you for coming on to the show. And we are going to be talking about right now about the movie-going experience. AMC, the whole texting thing kind of spun up a topic, and I think it should be discussed for a little bit. What is about the movie-going experience? Seeing the movie in the theater is more, why is that so important for people who like going to the movies?
Well, I mean, I'll say, I know it was a couple years ago with Tower Heist, the movie with...
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they proposed it in 2 theaters. It was going to be in Portland and Atlanta, where they were going to be trying it, where they were... Not theaters. They were trying it in those areas where they were going to be releasing it on demand for, about $60. And they announced it, and before the film even got released, it was supposed to go simultaneous. And... two theater chains both announced that if this was going to happen, we're not going to show your movie because it's taking away from our sales.
Because people could just go and buy it.
Yeah,
themselves
exactly.
At home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can invite people over. You're just not getting the same amount of sales.
Of course, yeah.
And so it ended up never even coming to fruition. And I've heard with recently with Netflix and the Crouching Tiger sequel.
Yeah, right.
Theaters are saying they're not going to show it if Netflix airs it or something.
I think
at the
they
same
already
time.
have, so I guess it's not happening.
It was in February, and that didn't happen. So I know there's already backlash with studios, with theaters wanting to make sure that they're kept in theaters, and I kind of agree. It's just something about the experience that.
And it's about the experience, and that's the main thing that I don't think is going to change, because when it comes down, what people look for when they go to a theater is, yes, to see the movie, but what they're really going for is a shared experience. Shared experiences to people are more important than just things themselves. So having a movie theater, a place where you can go from the ordinary to something a little bit outside of the ordinary, and then you can go right back to the ordinary and have that shared experience with people. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of experience it is. Shared experiences bring people together and form bonds that otherwise wouldn't happen. Like, if you're witnessing a car crash with somebody, yeah, it may not be a good thing to see. You know, in some movies can be, you know, like compared to car crashes.
Right, yeah.
But it's having that. Yeah, you're not talking during the movie. You're not getting to know the person on a level, but there is that bond that's established by having that shared experience.
Of just experiencing something at the same time.
Yeah, and then the argument can be made that you can do that in your own home. You can take these streaming services and kind of recreate the movie experiences in your own home. Mm-hmm. And that might be where the trend goes, but I don't think the trend of people gathering together to watch movies is ever going to go away. I just think that movie theaters are going to have to catch up to what makes it to evolve again. I mean, they've done it before. There have been plenty of times where, just like now, people are in doubt of whether or not people are going to keep going to the theater. Mm-hmm. But then everything from sound coming out, that's not a gimmick. But some of these other things I'm going to list out are gimmicks. Mm-hmm. Sound wasn't a gimmick, but it brought more people to the theater. Then they had stuff like Smell-O-Vision. That was legitimate. They had Smell-O-Vision.
I remember the Rugrats movie. They had they gave out these cards.
Even then, yeah. But it was
exactly.
Long time ago they tried it too.
Burger King, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You had to go to Burger King. You had to get these sniffing cards, and then you go to the movie, and then there's a number that pops on the bottom of the screen, and then you scratch it off, and then you sniff it, and then you get to smell what they smell. It was really
during the movie.
During the movie,
There's always been these kinds of gimmicks, even IMAX. You can say it's a feature, you know. These aren't always gimmicks, I'll admit, but and then 3D, there's stuff that's still bringing us into the theater itself, but there's still going to be, even when you can take 3D or Smell-O-Vision or whatever into your household or whatnot, you're still going to want to watch that with other people. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that maybe something that they'll have to do to adapt is maybe do a system where you're renting out screens, and you can use your own streaming services in that screen, in that theater, to gather with people. Then you don't have to worry about the people that are being distracting, because they're your friends. You can be like, hey, stop it or get out. You know, right now, theaters are concerned about trying to kick out everybody who pulls up their screen, because they are concerned with the amount of people that are coming to theaters. Right. So they want to, the moment they're kicking out people, they're like, okay, we're just kicking out our business.
Right. So, I mean, what does the movie going experience mean to you personally? Why would you personally go out to the theater instead of just seeing it, just waiting for Blu-ray or DVD?
I don't know. I'll say I've noticed with some films, there's just this, and it's kind of indescribable for me, but just being in the theater, there's just something where you can watch the exact same movie at home or just in there, and it might just be with the lights dimmed, everyone else just, even something happens on screen, you hear the reactions. Might be something as small as that, but I don't know. I've just realized that especially with action movies or something, it's just not the same for me when I watch it for a second time or even for the first time just at home. It just doesn't have that same grandiose kind of scale with the surround sound, with the movies, not with the projection, not even getting into if I saw it in IMAX, if I saw it in Real D or digital 3D, or if it was shot in 3D, all these things factor into whether or not I want to see it in theaters. 3D is a big thing for me, where I want to see it in theaters if it's in 3D, just because I don't have a TV that can do that. That's something that's an experience that I can only get in the theater.
Or even when you're doing it at home. When you watch a movie, I'm going to wait till Blu-ray or something, and then you try to go into the when you're at home, there's so many things you can be distracted for. You have the ability to go to the kitchen, use the bathroom, pause it. In the theater, you can't pause it. It's just right there. It's dark.
There is something about taking yourself out of the ordinary and having that. It's a good frame, because if you want to make a piece of art and you want to show it to somebody, often than not, no matter what kind of is, there is some sort of frame you want to give it in. And I think for movies, the movie theater experience is that kind of frame. That you can go in, you can kind of just turn everything else off to learn something or experience something that you otherwise wouldn't have with all the distractions that are going on in your life.
Yeah, it's a separate place. It kind of makes it like an event. There's an event.
They're
you
like
go in to go
cathedrals
see.
for movies.
Yeah.
They really are, and I think that's kind of the way they need to be thinking about it going on. Actually, these places to go, not just a theater you go to is just like every other theater. They should make these places like either the way they look on the outside or the
Cleverly
inside.
designed.
But they can do things like people have like even Spielberg and Lucas have talked about. There's going to be this implosion in the film industry. People are talking apocalypse here and there about what's going on with the like this new paradigm shift that's on the horizon for the film industry. And I think it's like the different theaters are trying to play with different things, and I think it's pretty interesting. Some are doing these paying for seats themselves. Kind of like a concert venue. One idea was kind of, it's a little bit more far-fetched, but having free admission for the theater itself, and then having like a pay-to-play kind of system. Like, you know how apps these days, you can buy a free app, but there's so many microtransactions inside the app itself that's how they make money off of it. They can apply that to theaters by having free admission, but they have if you're watching Interstellar or something like that, or Batman vs Superman, you can come out of Batman vs Superman and buy a Batman vs Superman poster or a soundtrack, something like that.
That's interesting. How do you feel when you're at the movie theater and all, just very similar to what the AMC news? You're in the movie theater, all of a sudden the phone goes off. You see a light goes off. How does that make you feel as like you're watching the movie in the theater and then you get interrupted? Does it take you out?
It immediately pulls me out.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's a jarring experience. Like you're finally getting absorbed in what's going on the screen, and then out of nowhere, you're being pulled far away from the screen, and
because everything else is made to just focus on the screen.
Is in what's going on, and then
happens,
suddenly it's not. That's a big thing where I don't like having phones near me.
Is this not? So do you turn off your phone?
Yeah.
Like
I just turn it fully off. I don't even put it on
vibrate.
Do not disturb.
So like if anything's happening, like you got to wait at least 2 hours until I get back to you.
What really can be happening in that 2 hours? That
what are the odds, right?
Yeah.
Is there? I mean, can you guys give me your own a movie going experience, or like when you're in the theaters, when you actually got in there, like, wow, this is definitely worth seeing in theaters, or like, is there anything like special that popped out of you?
Yes, and it's mostly these kinds of screenings. It's the midnight premieres. They're doing fewer and fewer, but when they were still doing them, I went to the Avengers midnight premiere. And it was just it was like that time where so many people had wanted that to happen in a movie. They wanted those characters to come together, and it was a big deal for superhero team ups at the time. Now it's just like another day at the office. but at the time it was just so cool to be able to experience that with a whole group of people. It really did feel like a roller coaster, and I'm glad. Like a lot of people, I don't think they would like to ride a roller coaster by themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It still would be entertaining to me, but having to be on that roller coaster of a movie with those people and hearing like audible reactions, audible laughs, gasps. I was like, this is what the movie theater experience was meant to be, and I wish I could have that every time. So that's why I try to go to midnight premieres as much as possible.
I mean, it's unfortunate because ever since the Aurora shooting back in 2012,
it's been tough.
They because it happened to be at the Dark Knight Rises midnight premiere, and people. I mean, it's very unfortunate. That interrupted the movie going experience, and now we don't have midnight releases anymore. We have Thursday night at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, if we're lucky. But do you have any aside from that depressing news? But do you have any of your favorite?
My favorite were actually both Star Wars. They were actually because the first movie I ever saw a midnight premiere of was Star Wars Episode 3.
Okay, Revenge of the Sith. Okay.
Revenge of the Sith, and it was awesome. I saw it on the TVs. I didn't think it'd be possible to even be able to see it opening night, but I just saw people lining up. It was this unique theater. It kind of looks like a pyramid down in South Florida where I lived, and I just saw people like already huge lines, and it was like 5 p.m. And I was talking to my friend. I was spending the night over at his house. I was like, I really want to see this. Do you? He was like, yeah, but we have like school in the morning, and we're in 6th grade.
We have school in the morning. You can't watch the movie.
What was it about the theater experience itself?
Just seeing. For me, it was like all going there and seeing all the huge fanboys. That,
people dressed up. Probably.
Dressed up. Yeah. It was this big event, and that's what I love about when movies are like this just event. Is just because everyone was there, everyone cared about these characters, like. It just their fandom was showing and it was spreading,
Community, I think, is a big.
Yeah, it was
I
a
feel like-
community. It was a community experience.
I feel like we all can agree that, in that experience, we go with our friends, we get popcorn, we get drinks, and we just sit down and enjoy. Even though we're not conversating with each other at all, we're all just there. Like we're there for the same reason. We're there to watch a movie and be taken out of this world and put into something else. And you don't. I mean, you can get that at home, but I feel like you're more immersed into it when you're at home. So it's definitely something that
At the theater, right?
At the, yeah. At
I
the
was like,
theater,
wait a minute.
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, even by going to the movie theater, I mean that's definitely big. But a lot of people are going to be going to the movie theaters this summer, and so right after the break, we're going to be talking about the summer movie blockbuster season, and there's a lot of good ones coming out. There's It's going to be a big year. I know there's a couple of years that it's always huge. I think this one is not as big as others, but it's definitely a big year for movies. So
I'm excited about a lot of them.
Yeah, just
but I'm not talking about it. So
yes. Okay, so we'll talk about that more after the break.
I'm not being screamed about. Because I'm on YouTube, right? I wonder if these people know me. I don't know. We'll figure it out. What's your craziest fangirl story so far? Have people jumped you?
Some people have secretly whispered some inappropriate things in our ear after they were done taking a picture. Several notes saying, meet me here at this time with a winky face on it. It's been a little bit crazy.
How is this a YouTube convention? I haven't seen a single cat at all. You deal a lot with health and beauty and whatnot, so and fashion. So could you give me some fashion advice, some beauty advice? I don't know if.
Chris,
Yeah,
I don't think you need any fashion advice.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know what to do with this microphone here. Sorry.
I know. I feel like how I leaned in. I'm all
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah. I don't.
No, I was thinking when you were standing here, I was like, that is a sharp dresser. So A
See,
plus.
you heard it. You heard it right from Nikki. All right. That's happening all the time. Are you guys excited to see Chris Nielsen? Yeah? Okay. Who's excited for Playlist Live? Yes. Woo!
I'm gonna do a Snapchat. I'm gonna try to get all of you in it. Hold on.
Social media is being used now. It's exciting. Playlist Live! There we go. Are you excited to meet Chris Nielsen?
Yeah.
No one cheers when I use Snapchat. I'm still not finding any cats. It's really disappointing. I thought the whole point of the internet was for cat videos, so I'm a little disappointed that I'm not seeing any here. Could you describe Playlist Live in one word?
Insanity.
That's a good one. Just a lot of power in just being able to say a few words, and then suddenly everybody just goes, woo! It's really cool. Like, I can't say it about a lot of things. Oranges! See?
Miss Playlist Live Orlando? Check out Playlist Live Washington, D.C., September 2nd through the 4th.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. I'm your host Matt Diaz, also joined by Chris Mark City, and replacing Chris Nielsen. It's not him.
We reached our Chris quota.
Quota.
So I'm murdered.
Oh, that's nice.
You want to give me his shirt?
Is that him over there on pieces?
No, he's dead. I don't know why you joke.
Okay. Oh, sorry. But Carl's and Carl likes to come back on the show. We're talking about the movie blockbuster season now. So I know we're all excited for Captain America: Civil War. We're all excited for X-Men: Apocalypse.
That's a given.
Those are all given.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, we're all excited about those movies. But let's talk about the movies that a lot of people don't know about those. Maybe not as... They're all coming out in the summer, but not maybe as well known. So, Chris, can you give me a movie that you're excited to see over the summer?
Should I give you the biggest or the most obscure?
Do what you want,
Whatever you want to
Okay,
start
I'll give
with.
you the most obscure.
Okay.
It's Swiss Army Man.
Okay.
It's I'm trying to get his name right. Paul Dano. I haven't seen him in much.
Paul Dano.
Yeah, the last thing I saw him in was actually this movie I saw way in middle school called The Girl Next Door.
Okay.
It was a comedy. But it's him and Daniel Radcliffe, and he's just alone on an island. And like depressed, he's alone. He's about to kill himself, and then he sees the corpse of Daniel Radcliffe wash up on the beach, and so then he just hangs out with the corpse of Daniel Radcliffe, and it's very like surrealist. The trailer, like he rides Daniel Radcliffe's body like a boat. Like it's definitely very surreal, definitely very out there, but it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
What makes you really interested about this movie, as far as just like?
I'm not sure if you were listening. He rides Daniel Radcliffe like a boat.
I guess that was
I think we know why.
That was the issue there, I guess. Is that it looks like he He's not doing much.
Yeah. It's kind of laid
He was
back.
just a boat.
He's
kind of a dead performance.
Yeah, literally. It's just not doing so hot. Carlton, what's your?
What movie I'm excited for? You know what? Let me give you the movie that I'm most excited for, even more than Civil War, even more than Suicide Squad. I'm excited for The Nice Guys, starring Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, and directed by Shane Black, who did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. You probably know him for doing Iron Man 3. Look, Iron Man 3 is a good movie. I don't know why people keep giving it so much crap. Totally inconsistent. I get that, but a fun movie. Now, let me tell you, The Nice Guys is following Ryan Gosling. He plays a private investigator. Then you got the muscle right there. You see that handsome man right there, Russell Crowe. From judging by the trailer, he kicks Ryan Gosling's ass.
That's a great scene.
And then they have to figure out the mystery of a dead prostitute and a missing girl. And what really excites me about this movie is it seems just to be having fun. And when I look at the trailer, I see them playing with the frame. I see them doing editing. It feels like Edgar Wright sensibilities, but toned down. So I think it's gonna be a ton of fun, and I'm super excited about it.
So are you excited? Are you more excited about Shane Black being involved in the movie, or are you just like another Shane Black movie?
It's a perfect storm.
Okay.
It's a perfect storm.
So it's like perfectly cast, an interesting story, and the director's back on board.
100%. But the last time I got this excited for a movie, it was Looper. Looper that much.
So you're hoping you don't get you're keeping your hopes on reserve.
What are you talking about? This is gonna be the best movie ever.
Okay.
Go to Chris.
All right, Chris. What's next up for you?
The next one up for me is Pop Star Never Stop Stopping.
Okay, now you talked to me about this before the show.
Yeah.
And you told me that these are the Lonely Island guys. Explain. I didn't want to hear it. Let me hear it now.
This seems like it's basically just the Lonely Island movie. I mean, it's directed by two of the Lonely Island people. It's Jorma Decone and Akiva Schaffer. If I want to make sure I'm saying his name right. Yeah, I am. Just those two. They're directing it, and they're also starring in the film as his, if I get it right, his DJ and his lyricist.
Okay. And
so it's basically like those three plus Andy Samberg, who's playing the title character. No, not the title character, but he's the pop star.
Right.
And it's basically just those three, and there's just like a whole slew. It's a long list of other people who they've worked with a number of things.
So it's definitely like a Lonely Island reunion.
Yeah, like
almost.
plus Bill Hader's getting involved.
I mean, Lonely Island was trying to start off with SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you give us a little about what the movie's about?
The movie, it seems like it's a lot with he's a rapper, and he does this album and it bombs, and from what most of the trailer is shown is that it built him up to be very self-centered.
Okay.
Like he's surrounded himself with yes men all his life as he's built up to this point. Like only people who tell him yes. In one of the scenes in the trailer, it shows him shooting a basketball behind him. And it doesn't go anywhere near, and everyone cheers for him because he wasn't watching.
And he crashes and burns?
Yeah.
Is that what this is about?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be him crashing and burns and
so
then build his way back up. I feel like it's going to have a good an actual message and a good story, but it seems really funny based off the trailer.
I'm excited.
Okay, all right, so another comedy. All right. Anyone for your...
We only think things are funny here, Chris. That's why my next movie is The Sausage Party. You ready? So I'm not sure you've seen the Sausage Party trailer, but let me enlighten you. Do you remember that scene in Toy Story 3 where the toys show up to the daycare and they think it's gonna be a great time, and then the children run in and they start tearing the toys apart. The arms are coming off.
Yeah, it's like a murder, like a horror scene in there.
Well, I think Seth Rogen got a little
out of hand.
He got a little lifted, and then he wrote his own movie called Sausage Party. Now in the trailer, they're all excited. They're at the grocery store, and they're just hoping, I just want to be chosen to get eaten. And they get chosen, and the next thing you know, they're skinning the hot dogs. They're screaming. It's just it's a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath about the blood. And what really has me stoked is that this is a rated R animated film.
About food.
About food. But really, it's a rated R animated film, and I can't think of the last time I saw a movie like that. And it's by Seth Rogen, and I like Seth Rogen. I think it's gonna be a funny movie.
He does great work.
And James Franco's involved because they can't not do things
together.
together.
Yeah, they're always in their movies together. Yeah.
So I think this is gonna be not only a funny movie and a blast, or just super crude and bad, but it is a testing ground for rated R animated films. This movie succeeds, all bets are off. We might see more rated R animated films, maybe not as crude as this.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll finally get my Whereas they already have Dragon Ball Z movies in theaters, so I don't know what I'm complaining about.
Yeah, that one, we had that one in theaters, and we're glad it's out.
Did you see it?
The Dragon Ball Z one? Yeah.
I mean,
Great,
I think you made an interesting point there.
Oh,
That this is
man.
like a testing ground for rated R rated R animated movies because we don't get that often.
Yeah.
And so I think that because of this, we might be able to get more of that. So that's definitely an interesting point to bring up. Yours? What's your next one?
My final one?
Oh yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Okay, then the remake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, soft reboot.
Yeah, it's true. The soft reboot, right?
How do you feel seeing the trailer?
I like it. I'm expecting good things. I was pleased with the trailer.
See, I'm not pleased with the trailer, but all the women in the trailer are funny. I've seen them do their own stuff and on SNL, and they're always like super hilarious. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. But
See, the big thing is even if the trailer didn't get me at all, it has just an awesome cast. Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones. Like my favorite people on SNL are all doing a movie together.
I mean, it brought up a lot of controversy when it's going to be an all-woman cast, which is nothing wrong with that, but it did bring up a little bit of a stir up something to say, hey.
Why?
I don't know why.
The original Ghostbusters were an all-male cast. What's the issue?
Yeah, I never saw that issue, but it did come up. But I mean, it's interesting. It has a lot of negative feedback.
I think it's interesting doing it gender bended.
Yeah, I do too. I think the trailer's not that funny.
Okay.
But who cares? Like I said, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt.
I don't want them to show all their jokes in the trailer, though.
I agree, and that's what gives me hope. That's what gives me hope. Even though the one joke where the ghost has just breasts, like I'm like,
Well,
I don't know how to feel about that.
If you do
joke.
a Ghostbuster movie and it's just lacking in jokes too, then that's just a bad film. So I like to think they're keeping their good stuff.
The director is Paul Feig.
Paul Feig.
Paul Feig, yes, yeah.
He did Bridesmaids.
He did Bridesmaid. He did Spy. He's worked a lot with.
Spy was hilarious.
He worked a lot with Melissa McCarthy. So I think that he has potential to make a good Ghostbusters film. I think maybe the trailers aren't doing it justice.
Yeah, I didn't know he was the guy who's done.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 movie.
Oh, okay.
As you can see, I don't overhype movies.
And what's your last movie you're interested in watching?
Because I can't take anything seriously.
Okay, it figured.
It's oh man.
Well, I mean, so far you have The Nice Guys, which is a comedy. You have The Sausage Party, which is another comedy. So I'm assuming.
My last one is Matt and Dave need wedding dates.
Mike and Dave.
Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
We got the name right.
You got the name right. Yeah.
Star-studded cast. It is. We have. Forgot their names. Aubrey Plaza, Zac Efron, Anna Kendrick, and the one guy I never learned the name of.
I can't remember it either.
But he's always in movies and he's hilarious.
He's from Pitch Perfect. He has
Pitch Perfect and Workaholics.
Workaholics. Yeah, sure, yeah.
And what really has me excited about this movie is not only the cast. Which let me get into the cast just a tiny bit. So Zac Efron has embraced being Zac Efron. What people think of him. So he's embraced the caricature, which is great. He's playing it.
Neighbors, basically.
Yeah, he's playing it phenomenally.
Bad grandpa.
But Anna Kendrick and Aubrey Plaza are playing off-type, which I really appreciate. Because they really tried typecasting, especially Aubrey Plaza, for a while. Like as the
distant.
Yeah. But now and even in Bad Grandpa, was it Bad Grandpa or whatever?
Dirty Grandpa was the one with him.
Yeah, Dirty Grandpa. He did it with Zac Efron.
She's been trying to go off-cast, and in this one she's playing a very sexual woman. But also she's playing, like, the two, Anna Kendrick and her are playing con men. Because these two, they constantly ruin wedding parties or just parties in general, and the sister's like, you can't come unless you have respectable dates. So they find these two women online who pretend to be respectable and very ladylike, but no, they're con men and they're just worse. They're worse than them. They're doing cocaine.
I'm almost more excited for the con men, for the two girls.
I am too.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be like the big bulk of the film for me.
And Anna Kendrick always plays the sweetheart, and Aubrey Plaza always plays the cold girl, and this time they're both playing something that's different.
Yeah.
And it's good to let them, stretch out their wings and, find their range.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
It's going to be a blast.
All right, let's talk about some other movies that's also coming out, just to briefly mention. So we have the new Star Trek Beyond movie that's coming out. This is the first movie in the Star Trek franchise that's not with J.J. Abrams. I think he has a small involvement with it, but not heavily. So how do you think this is coming? I know like some of the people who directly produced, I think previously produced the movie is now directing it. And so how do we feel about having that? He kind of took away from he took Star Trek away and went to Star Wars. So
yeah. I'll say as far as Star Trek Beyond goes, the trailer didn't get me.
Okay.
I felt like a lot of trailers and movies coming out have felt this way. Like they've all been sort of modeling it after Guardians.
Okay.
Off the success.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's like it felt like they're trying to make it action packed, like very intense, like that is.
But they've been trying to do that.
It doesn't feel like the other two films though. It feels like drastically different, and maybe it's because there's no Enterprise, and it is going to be different with them being. It looks like they're marooned on a alien planet,
something like that. Yeah.
Which I like the concept of it.
I like the concept
because the other two movies they were very action-packed, and like I think they were fun movies. But it felt like J.J. Abrams doing Star Wars, which ironically ended up doing Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's an opportunity for more of a cerebral and analytical version of Star Trek, which to me is what I always associated Star Trek with. But that's just me though.
Right. Also, another movie to talk about. Finding Dory just came back from a long-awaited sequel with 13 years.
Why you laughing?
Yeah, because I remember getting the DVD for Finding Nemo and watching it. It was the first movie I saw at my mom's her Grand Caravan. She had just bought. It had the DVD player.
Oh, the DVD player in the car.
That was the first movie I watched in it. And I remember watching it, and I remember hearing this talk of Finding Dory for years. And like it was definitely going to happen, but it just I never heard anything.
13 years later,
it got to a point where I just started thinking, okay, this isn't. It just doesn't exist. Just like Incredibles 2. Like they were talking about that happening for the longest time.
It's not coming. But yeah, I mean that's something to look forward to. They're also bringing back Independence Day.
Don't you talk like that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Incredibles 2 will happen.
I know it is happening.
I want it to happen. I'm glad it's happening. Yeah. It's been talked about for so long. I just want it to be here already.
You're right. Okay, Independence Day 2.
And Independence Day Resurgence, yes, that's coming back out from another long-awaited sequel from the original. I'm not sure if that was a needed sequel, but it's definitely coming out now without Will Smith. And we have Jeff Goldblum back in it as well. So that's
I'm 100% stoked for that movie. It's been what? Is it 20 years since Independence Day 1 came out? I think it's around that time frame.
But that trailer in the 90s.
That trailer has me stoked. They're saying the speech. They're getting everyone pumped. Does it need a sequel? Not necessarily. But Independence Day 2 is a movie that I'm happy about a soft reboot.
Okay.
Same like Ghostbusters though.
Yeah. It's a soft reboot. And then lastly we have Jason Bourne coming back with Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Yeah, Matt Damon is so. There's definitely a lot of great movies that come out. Also, they're trying to bring out some new ones like Warcraft, trying to get that into the PC universe. I know.
What do you think? Because the look on your face.
Okay, that was one. I played World of Warcraft growing up.
Quickly.
Yeah, it was a great game, and I had a lot of good expectations for them to make a Warcraft thing, especially because whenever they did the trailers for the show for the games, they did these cinematic trailers, and they were brilliant, and I was really excited to see these like a live action thing, and it had been talked about for 10 years. And then I saw the trailer, and it just didn't get me.
I think it's the color grading. Like it's too colorful, you know. Like like the human elements and the CG elements feel like they're separate worlds.
Yeah,
and they don't blend very well.
Yeah.
That's what I think the real issue is.
But unfortunately, guys, I'm sorry. That's all the time we have today.
Oh man!
I hope everyone enjoys the movies this summer. I've been your host, Matt Diaz. This is the season's finale of Beyond the Credits. Beyond the Credits. I like to thank Patrick Doyle for having an interview with us. Thank you, Carlton, for coming out. Thank you, Chris Marksey. Thank you, Chris Nielsen.
And thank you, Tiffany, for putting this whole thing together.
Yes, thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany Gentry was the producer and put all this show together.
This is her baby.
Thank you for this. Thank you for our crew. Mac is our director.
Oh yeah, Michelangelo.
And he put all this sets together.
Jenny for doing the sound.
Let's see all these props.
Oh man,
let's see, you guys made the props. You guys, here he is.
Yeah.
He made the props. You're graduating, right? Yeah,
I am graduating.
Anyway,
you'll see me at the unemployment line. Holla at your boy.
All right, thank you, everybody. Enjoy your summer, and who knows, we'll be back. See ya.
Oh man, I love it.